Hi guys, what a race. We witnessed Lando Norris winning the race. A bit of a good race for himself. McLaren gambled at the time, but Max Verstappen was just there to take, or should I say, to pick up the pieces when they make mistakes. And to Ferrari, I don't know what I would say because it was a show of shame for them. They had the opportunity in their hands, but they took a gamble that did not work. Ferrari could have done better. It's still a long season, but looking at it, Williams are ahead of Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. I don't think that is where Ferrari needs to be or wants to be starting the season like a new team. And to Lewis Hamilton, still struggling with that car, but I think if he can get hold of the car and the engine, I think it will be better from what we saw him drove today. He's still struggling, especially with his DRS mode. The K1, press K1, hold K1, hold it, hold it. It's so funny because that is not how it works on the steering wheel with Mercedes. So he's still struggling with a whole lot of things. And to Kimi Antonelli, what a drive. That boy got some big head on his shoulders. And I can tell you, for me, Kimi Antonelli should be the driver of the day. He drove his ass out. He didn't care who was ahead of him. He drove his ass out. He started from 16th and he got himself into P5. That was a great drive for him. So Albon, Williams, I think the Mercedes engine looks so strong. The Mercedes engine is still the superior engine for me because all the teams using Mercedes engine this season look so good, except for Aston Martin. And to Alpine going to Mercedes engine next year, I think it's just like a good deal for them. If they can get the suspension and every other thing well, I think it's a good thing for them. Let me start from the beginning, how it all went down. On the first formation lap, Isaac Aja was out. To me, it's not a mistake. He's a rookie and it is something that is bound to happen. You are driving a car that you are not used to and you overstep on the gas pedal and it boom, and that was it. It was off. What a bad start for him. We had to wait 15 minutes for the race to start again. On lap one, we have Carlos Sainz out and we have Jack Doohan out before the end of lap one. That stalled the race for some time and we kept on in the race. Kimi Antonelli started giving us some doses of good overtaking. That boy can overtake. That boy is a wonderful driver. Against the Sauber, he did the same trick twice on Nico Hülkenberg. Spun, came back, telling them, see, I've not come to play. His speed is out of this world. Let me be sincere with you. Aside from him being my driver of the day, he would give George Russell a drive for his money. That boy is the future. I think that boy is the latest discovery. And if you can keep that up, like Toto Wolff said last year, you cannot stop his speed or slow his speed. You just need to encourage him and know how to guide him. That boy is speed. And I think with the experience he's getting and how he's being coached, that boy is showing that he deserves the seat in Mercedes. He drove a hell of a race today. And I think if he had not been penalized, apart from ending fourth, George Russell would have to look all through behind. He was looking behind his mirror. Immediately, Kimi Antonelli overtook Alex Albon. That was all Lewis Hamilton was unable to do for over 30 laps. The overtake button is different, the way it's being held, and that gave him a whole lot of stress. Also, looking at all the rookies today, I think Kimi Antonelli did a good job. Oliver Bierman came back today and he was able to end the race after all the shenanigans of mistakes he made all through the race weekend. He came up today, at least he finished the race. Of all those that went out, my heart goes out to Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso. Not of their own fault, or should I say accord. Fernando Alonso was pushing too hard to overtake Pierre Gasly and he spun out, and that was it for him. Oscar Piastri almost going out, coming back was an interesting one, and I think we have another analysis for that because that McLaren looks great. Both in the rain, both on dry, that McLaren looks great. Also, Ferrari made a mistake yesterday, changing up the setup for a rain setup. You don't need a rain setup. You don't need it. It has been proven today by McLaren and Red Bull that you don't need the rain setup. Even Mercedes proved it today. Just go into the race with it. And I think it's also a thing for them to also listen to Lewis Hamilton because of his experience. They could have pitted when they had the opportunity. They wouldn't have ended the race 8 and 10. They are learning day by day. They just need to get the right setup and to get the right communication. Also, let me go to this. McLaren will have a first season season, because I said it earlier, Piastri signing a new deal for McLaren is going to make it competitive. Drivers with equal treatment. Piastri can overtake anytime, just keep it clean. Lando Norris can overtake anytime, keep it clean. Which means, again, they may not be able to fight for championship, because if driver can overtake anytime, they can cost themselves from little problems, which would not be good for the team. I think at this point, they need to look at it. Who do they want to have a possible shot at winning the championship? The closest person they can get now is Lando Norris. Oscar is driving his ass out. Lando Norris, why? Because he won the first race. Winning the first race is an opportunity for you to say, okay, fine, you won the first race, now you are a number one driver. Oscar Piastri, do number two, they say, which Oscar Piastri will not agree. Going to Red Bull, I've said it, whatever Max Verstappen is on, whatever his car is on, the stimulant, the steroids his car is on is different from what his teammates are on, and that is going to give a whole lot of problems this season. We are going to go back to what has been happening since Daniel Ricciardo left. It has been a Max Verstappen car. Don't get me wrong, Max Verstappen is a terrific driver. He's driving the car. So all these things saying, oh, the car is bad, this guy is driving his ass out, he's a good driver, but the car is solely made for him. It is difficult for other drivers to drive. Liam Lawson got into that same car today, and Liam Lawson drove zero. And I think Liam Lawson might lose his seat as we are looking at it, which might promote Yuki Tsunoda. Or possibly, I think, like I've always said, I know Red Bull do not want to promote Yuki Tsunoda. They might have to move Isaac Aja if he performs well. But remember, no matter who they move against Max Verstappen, the car is made solely for Max Verstappen, not for any other driver. So the driver would have it on a other hand. It suits his driving style. So what do you want them to do? Like I said, to Mercedes, no gamble, straight A's, and they prove they can compete. Though they are still far away from the McLaren, I think if the Ferraris are in the right place, the Mercedes are still far away from them. But who told Ferrari to go and put on a setup that they don't need? Ferrari is showing a joke of a start of the season. I'm telling you, because if they're starting the season like a joke, what else would they do in the season? Believing they can synchronize, get along, is going to be a good season for them. There's no car that cannot be optimized to be on par with any other car. I think the closest team to McLaren now is Ferrari. But the optimization of the car is their problem. And also, they need to work with themselves. So we have 4 teams, but majorly 3 teams now vying for championship. Until next week in China, you cannot know what will happen, but China next week will be very interesting. A different track. A lot of these drivers have learned team principles. I've learned a new thing today. So coming into China, I think it's going to be a different race. But congratulations again to Lando Norris, and congratulations to McLaren team. A good one from Max Verstappen. Closed up. Max Verstappen will never sniff off an opportunity. When he sees an opportunity, he goes for it. He went for it. He came short, but he came in second. Like I said in my post, strategy, rain will make this race. Now, strategy and rain made it. I thought with strategy and rain, McLaren would not be able to win it. They were almost out, but they got their head back while others made a mistake and they got it right. Congrats to them. Congrats to Mercedes. And watch out for this young man, Kimi Antonelli. He's going to surprise you this season. And it's not going to be an easy season for George Russell. McLaren will not be able to pick on Max Verstappen for 2026 or 27. Max Verstappen possibly might leave for Mercedes or Aston Martin. It might sound like a rumor, but I'm telling you, he might leave because the RB is getting much untamable. They are struggling to tame the RB. He would leave, and he would leave for a Mercedes engine or an Aston Martin, which is under engine. But probability of leaving for a Mercedes engine is there. Kimi Antonelli partnering with him would be a good thing. At that point, it's not a car for Max Verstappen, it's a car for both of them. I believe what McLaren wanted to do was to bring him in to partner Oscar Piastri. From what I'm looking at, they cannot afford to pay his wages. So Mercedes could afford to pay his wages. But Aston Martin has more chances to pay his wages because there is money. The billionaire is there to partner him up with Lance Stroll. We are going to see a good season this time. You cannot wait for the next race in China. Give you some updates. To Bortoleto, another rookies out there, bad one. Largest attendance at Albert Park this weekend, 465,498 people attended this weekend, which is the largest attendance for the Aussies out there. We have 3 Aussies out there doing a tremendous job, and they all came up short. Only Oscar Piastri was able to do something, But it's still a long season. And up until the next one in China, watch out for other analysis and other shots. I love you guys. Still your guy. Remain blessed. Bye. Boop.